Hey guys, Civilord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Dreadnought Road Pig and his little doggy Rockus, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro as well. It's my good buddy Tee Bizz. Shout out to Tee Bizz as always. I'll leave a link in the description below to his YouTube channel. Head on over there, give him a follow, and stay tuned for when he talks smack about somebody who leaves him a stupid comment. Thankfully that hasn't happened in a while, but rest assured somebody's going to make the mistake and do it at some point, so place your bets, people, place your bets. But at any rate, we worked out a bit of a trade so I could get this guy, not because he was particularly rare, but because he was around for a minute at my local Target, and then they just disappeared. I don't even think they went on clearance. It's quite fantastic that my Target just continues to suck a big fat carton of eggs any chance they get. But at any rate, we're not talking about that dump. We're talking about Road Pig. And he is Chungus, isn't he? He's a big, chunky boy. I guess he's a strong man, not just a jacked, crazy dude. So at any rate, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see at all he has to offer in terms of accessories, because he's pretty loaded. Starting off with a pair of fists, as well as this alternate kind of yelling head. It's very cartoony looking. A lot of people don't care for it. I don't mind it personally, but it is what it is. We also get this helmeted head, which is probably what I'm going to use. I think it looks pretty cool. It's got the spikes, the tusks, the hide hanging off the back there. Very, very cool. And we also get this kind of Hannibal Lecter-y style mask with the tusks on it. These straps are a bit of a challenge, so if I can manage it, I will show you how to put this on. And as far as weaponry goes, we have a little meat hook here. Looks kind of small for him, but will probably fit in there just fine. We get his main weapon, which is a cinder block on a stick. Kind of a short stick, but I guess it's meant to be some kind of makeshift MacGyver sledgehammer. Definitely do some damage with that. We also get a legit, meat tenderizer hammer with a boar's head on the back. Some spikes here, some spikes there. Here a spike, there a spike, everywhere a spike, especially on the top. And then we got this kind of studded surface there. We also have a riot shield, which is very specific to him. I guess Shockwave came with one of these. Not sure if Tee Bizz ever had that guy, but rest assured this is, I believe, the right one with the boar's head on it. It's got the stupid clip on the back. I wish this had a peg to go on his back, because I'd like to have this on his back and then, both hammers, or at least a hammer and a meat hook in his hand. But unfortunately, this guy has zilch for weapon storage. Despite how big he has nowhere to put any of his gear, which kind of sucks. But what doesn't suck is that Rockus comes with an alternate kind of snarly head. Take a look at him quick. You can see he's just kind of stoic there. I would much rather prefer this snarling head over that. So if you bear with me. There we go. He looks like he's ready to pounce. Now, I will say, Rockus is a cool little dog, for what it's worth. It's the first dog I have, if you don't count Timber. But, as far as articulation goes, he's got a double ball peg in the head up here. That's fine. Same with the neck. It'll rotate, tilt up and down, and side to side. His shoulders, question mark, will move forward and back. In and out a little bit, that's fine. Single jointed elbows, knees, whatever you want to call them there. That's fine. They do rotate. I did have to heat up like all of his legs, get them working properly, but they do work. He's got a hinge here. I'm not sure what you would call that. And a hinge in the paw, on each paw. But I will tell you, this front paw here was very stuck on mine. It works now because I've heated it, I've soaked it in some cold water, and I've put some soap in there to make sure it's gonna frickin' move, because before it felt like it was gonna just snap off. So I don't know what's up with that. I got it that way. Tee Bizz has nothing to do with that. He didn't make the damn thing. But you know, for something so small, it was a little nerve-wracking to try and get that cracked loose. This paw was the same way, but I don't feel the need to loosen that. I don't imagine the peg is messed up in there, but let's just say I didn't bother to pull this paw off to find out if I could do that or not. We do have a diaphragm, or like a ball jointed waist here, so that can move all around. And then for his hind legs, those are on ball joints right there, and then the knees will straighten out. Once again, I had to heat these, get them to work, but they do work. He's gonna swivel at the knee as well. Hinge here, and then once again he's got a hinge at the paw with a rocker. So very well articulated Eminoles in this line. Let's not get it twisted, but man, oh man, these joints were just so freaking I think the joints on this guy were tighter than this guy, and this guy's like 10 times his size. So hopefully some of the other dogs not like that. I know there's what, Law and Order and Junkyard and Mutt, but at any rate, there is Rockus. Now on to the big boy himself, Road Pig, who has the standard kind of like buzz cut head at the moment. You can look up and down with that, tilt side to side, look side to side, and whatnot. Now, I did promise to try and get this muzzle on, so let's see if I can't do that. The best way I found to do it is to pull this top strap over the ears, but that can be easier said than done, you know. I think it's on there already. That was quick. Yeah, it's on there. If you want to see it on him. Well, that strap in the back is kind of hindering things, isn't it? I will say this back strap here, this lower one, might prove to be a bit of a challenge when trying to pop his head on. If I can do it, I'll do it. Oh, alright, not really. I just didn't want to mess that up, but it will hinder the head articulation a little bit. So there he is with that. Looks cool, kind of like a boar-esque Hannibal Lecter mask. It's probably a lot easier to get off this head than the open mouth head, so probably recommend using this head over that. That and the sculpt just seems to be better. And if he's wearing a muzzle, his mouth isn't going to be open, it's going to be closed, but there you go. Looks good. Looks fierce. But let's face it. You guys know me. When it comes to my superheroes, I prefer masks. When it comes to my Joes, I prefer helmets. And this guy is going to be rocking this crazy biker helmet. Because it's just all kinds of wild. Makes him even more Mad Max than he already is. But as far as the rest of his articulation goes, his shoulders will pop out. He does have a beautiful butterfly that barely does squat, as butterfly joints often do, so there's that. His shoulder can of course pop back down. Rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow, kind of hindered due to his wrist mounted crossbow over here. He does have swivel hinge wrists with the appropriate interval in weapons, but very loose grip on the weapons, unfortunately. He does have a torso rocker, but it's pretty much just a swivel because Hasbro doesn't know how to engineer shit. So it just kind of rotates, and then it just kind of leans subtly back and forth, and then tilts side to side. Like, not much out of that. His waist the same way. It does lean back and forth, but it's almost just a wiggle. It's almost like it's not even supposed to do it, so that kind of sucks. Drop down hips, of course those work. Kick forward and back. He's got a thigh cut. Kick out, that's fine. Double jointed knee, which I imagine, yep. Very tight on this guy. Decent range though. Boot cut. Hinge in the foot with a rocker. And peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there you have it. That is Road Pig in a nutshell. He is cool. I like him. I like his size. I like the fact that we are getting, you know, some variation in the size of some of the bad guys at least. Makes him that bit more intimidating, but I will say the lack of weapon storage, especially on Classified, because they be all about that, and the fact that the torso articulation is very, very limited, does kind of suck. But I like him. He's going to stand on the shelf looking menacing AF, and, you know, despite his limitations, you can get some good poses out of him. Bring Rockus back in here. There you go. Aren't we bringing our two regulars? The Mythic Legion's Brother Bendabilith right here. And, you know, he's big for Classified, but compared to the likes of 11 Spawn, they're about the same height. But again, I think G.I. Joe Classified series is probably a, what is it, a true 1/12 scale line. It's not like other 1/12 scale lines that are like 6 3/4 inches tall. So there's that, I guess. But with that being said, I think it is time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the right foot on good old Rockus giving me a little bit of trouble initially anyways, I have to say that the only issues I have with good old Road Pig that are probably going to be universal across all of them is the grip hands being a little loose and the lack of range in the torso. The articulation's there as far as the points go, but as far as the range, not so much. However, good old Road Pig is another Dreadnought for my Dreadnought squad, and at this point the only one I am waiting on is Monkey Wrench. No, not the Foo Fighters song. Once again, we are talking about the person. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.